I don't know, May, yeah, okay.
But you know what else is cool about the May? Since they're rolling out with this, they can actually use this to put Eng and Main up on that high ground on top of the pagoda that's right under our camera at the moment. And that's a great advantageous position for your supports to be, because it means if you want to pressure them, you've got to either have a long-range sort of hit scan or projectile DPS, but if it's projectile, you're not going to be able to fire upwards very effectively, or you've got to invest movement cooldowns from your tanks.
You got to think about it as well. Unfix can get up there pretty easily. Eng, yeah, okay, choosing not to go on there. It's just going to be Unfix using those rockets to jump up on there. They call that a rocket jump, funnily enough, right? Bazooka Puppiez running what seems to be a pure dive. No Tracer, though. It's going to be Sombra instead, piloted by Track and Cranks on Genji.
Mete scouting out is going to...
Nice.
Whoa! I don't know if that was a play there. Mete actually used his boosters to move through the high ground. But the second that he got through, of course, his boosters ran out when he landed on top of Sharek, but then he was right in front of Main and Unfix, so he got the Discord Orb, and there was just hit scan after hit scan, shot raining into him. Matey, like, it's not the play, my dude.
This is not, really not. You've got to be more careful than that. There's a very smart nade, though, coming out from Eng. You could see him positioning himself to throw up in the air to land on Choke. The wall comes in. Crown drop jumping off the top of the wall, in fact. Is going to find himself up into where Soldier was positioned, but Unfix doing a little bit of a debate. Is going to be holding the back left this time, which does mean Chao's going to be able to take him out with ease.
So it's sort of a catch-22 here for Saab, because he's either got to run through so that he gets on the correct side of the wall and can heal his tanks, but the second that he's on that side of the wall, he's going to be having Sharek's shield in front of him, and Sharek's just going to be racking him with this Tesla coil. If he can't land the sleep, then he's going to be very much doomed.
There's
okay,
the wall.
Sab's
oh,
in.
Perfect. Okay, Cave actually used his speed boost there. Oh, he's going to use his speed boost now, in fact, making sure everybody can get onto that point. Cranks is very low, but it's 80% towards that Dragon Blade. There's going to be a sleep in the front line. In fact, here, Bio Grenade as well, landing on the on everybody from Winstrike, but Kenzie's still going to get taken down by Track. He lands a couple of nice shots in his face. Happy Crown Drop finding the D-Mech of Chao, and Cranks finally earning that Dragon Blade. Has going to back off for the time, though, as he does get bionated.
Worth noting as well that Cranks has been subbed in instead of Brucen, who was previously here playing on the D.Va, but now Mete's taken up that role. Cranks going to be trying his luck here, but Eng's going to put him down, and it seems like Winstrike have managed to win this one out without having given up a tick, but they have, Jaws, worked out what they want to do with these ultimates. They do have a Nano Blade available, they also have an EMP. So what I'd actually like to see here is potentially a EMP into Nano Winston, and then using the Dragon Blade on point B to try and use it as a momentum tool.
Well, they're going to have to take out Unfix first. They did use the Nano on a vanilla Soldier, so he was able to earn his ult fairly quickly. He's 92% on that tactical visor. There aren't crazy amounts of defense for Bazooka Puppiez right now. Mete is going to have to be hot on that defensive matrix to absorb most of that. Sab's going to make his way onto the point, but a self-destruct is going to force him to back off for the time being. Still, Nano Blade is available. They're going to use that first up. There's the Blizzard. He has to dash straight over it. He manages to get it. He finds the kill onto Eng in the corner and manages to kill Chao and the D-Mech. A kill onto Kenzie as well to finish it up. Sharek does manage to take him out in the end, but still man advantage now for Bazooka Puppiez on the point. Sharek jumping out, just managing to kill off Sab, but Sab plays his comeuppance and does manage to kill Unfix with a bio grenade. Point captured for Bazooka Puppiez.
I'm not exactly sure what happened to Main's Transcendence there. Maybe he used it on an earlier dive or to try and deal with Track's EMP, but I do think that was probably the wrong call when you know that one of those is going to be available. But this is exactly what I didn't want to see from Bazooka Puppiez, though. They did manage to claim a point, but they invested all three of those ultimates to do it. I think you could have done it with just a Nano Winston and an EMP, or just maybe the Blade and EMP and then had the Nano later to use on Winston, but now they don't have any of those defensive abilities. So they've only got the Sound Barrier and both of their tank ultimates, neither of which are huge playmaking potential, and we do actually have a pause, which is the play, I imagine.
Well,
stop and think play.
Yeah,
it's all about.
We need a couple of seconds to think what we're going to do. And using that blade though as well, it did actually kind of force him over to the Brigitte in that sense. He's going to be able to build up a blade pretty quickly as Genji, especially on Hanamura point B. A lot of windows to kind of fire shurikens through. You can hit those large tanky bodies, but Brigitte a little bit more oomph, especially as soon as you roll her out the gate. She can really help Mete just force his way through the top side of the right hand side, as we saw they were going before.
And blade can potentially be mitigated on point B as well, especially by supports if they play near the doors, because of course both of those doors have like 2 layers which can scupper an offense. First, there's the impassable barrier through which you cannot move, and then a little bit further back is the invincibility barrier, behind which you cannot take damage, and you take a huge amount of healing as well to bring you back into the fight. So if you play near those doorways, not only can you can very much limit the aggression that melee or short-ranged based characters can have on you by having that impassable barrier between you and that particular, in this case, Dragon Blade. it can make it very hard to get value off of those characters.
Yeah, you need a speed boost, ideally, if you're in that Dragon Blade. And obviously, the Nano as well would help with the damage boost. But they are looking to go towards the top right-hand side. They're not got to really deal with the Mei too much here in this situation. Again, there are a lot of avenues to attack. There was one avenue to attack on the first point, and that was through that obviously the choke on the gate, right? They could go onto the top left, but it would require, again, the supports to kind of move their way forward. Sab hasn't got any mobility on the Ana this time. So we're really thinking Kenzie is, well, he's obviously switched up now, but you still could play the Mei. Again, Blizzard's super good on 2CP, the way the Blizzard interacts, especially with the last point. It just stalls out for so long. Kenzie can pop Ice Block. He could throw a wall up there. It's just so much of a delay tool, a delay tactic, that he could still play the Mei theoretically.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential techniques you can use on the Mei to try and stall that out, but he is actually going to go Brigitte versus Brigitte, Shield Maiden on Shield Maiden action. Crank's going to be joining him there, of course, no longer playing on the Genji, but Trank has opted to stick with this Sombra.
That he has. He has 40% ult charge, and he's going to be able to, again, build that up fairly quickly. The SMG does a fair bit of damage. There isn't a crazy amount of long-range damage coming out from Winstrike.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to get some farm damage, of course, onto both Chow and Sharek, but Main's going to shut him down easily.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Main actually finds the kill. Okay, they trade 1-for-1. 5v5 now, as Mete does have the self-destruct still. Everybody's in that small corridor. Could launch a bomb down there to make sure everybody disperses rather quickly. Grand Drop gets slept mid-air at the sleep dart, but someone did end up waking him up, and a bio grenade landed on him as well. So no healing for him for the time, and he does receive a beat just to save his life at the last possible second. Kenzie respawning and then coming back and then going straight back to the grave again. Cranks is going to do exactly the same thing as he also falls. Still, percentage play for Winstrike here as they are on the defense, so they'll get the spawns a little bit quicker.
Yeah, you need the clean wipe here if you're really going to take this. Bazooka Puppiez needed to be getting out right now. And oh, don't catch those, Crandop. Not quite unfixed. Relishing a little bit of extra ult charge there, thanks to the wonderful catcher's glove of Crandop. You can see why he has that sort of like catcher skin from the summer games.
Yes, because he's such a big target to hit. It's pretty hard to miss a Winston, let's be fair, with any shot. Even his head hitbox is pretty big as well for people like Widowmaker.
Yeah, indeed it is. But we'll have to see if Winstrike can successfully combo their Graviton Surge with the self-destruct. That would be the go-to combo here, I do believe. And there's not a huge amount of reliable shielding available to Bazooka Puppiez. Of course, they do have protective barriers from track, but if they can keep track of those, no pun intended, it'll be pretty easy to mitigate.
Graviton Surge on the side of the wall. The self-destruct is going to be thrown in by Bazooka Puppiez as well. Beautiful block by Kenzie, though, protected the rest of his team. Numfix received an enormous amount of energy as well. There will be Grand Drop falling, and Numfix still gaining a heck of a lot of ult charge, up to 40% on another grab. Just right-click after right-click. The plasma waters just do so much splash damage in those tight corridors.
You can see his eyes glowing with hunger as he sees the repair package placed down onto Meta, who's trying to make a little bit of a long commute back to point, but he's been caught out right now. Luckily, he is right next to the edge, so he can easily throw himself off of there and keep his ultimate charge and his mech, but does appear he didn't actually get the mech there. So Unfix going to get away with 70% of the way towards his next Graviton Surge. He's building these up incredibly quickly, but so is Track as well. Already ready to go with one of those. And let's have a look at Winstrike's defensive composition here. They've got both of their spot ultimates ready to go, which can mean that Sharek can potentially deal with one of these pushes on his own by using that 90 DPS cleave that you get with the 50% extra damage on Winston.
Well, they're going to use the rally to start off. Aang still got that grenade and still has that nano boost as well. He's going to receive a lot of that Transcendence healing, and Sharek going down first. Graviton Surge comes in, but he gets completely denied. Already one ultimate taken off the board by Winstrike. There's the Graviton Surge mixed with that Diva Bomb, the sound barrier to break it down, and Chow finds two. Nice defensive hold by Winstrike. They end up investing every single ultimate apart from Sharek's Primal Raise there, so they haven't really got much to fight with on the other side. However, Bazooka Puppiez have only got that Transcendence, so equal trade, really.
Hugely expensive for both teams, but Winstrike have managed to be able to keep up that armor that they did accrue. Main and Unfix still going to have that, unless Unfix decides to swap here. We'll have to see. Looks like there's a little bit of a mind game going on right now. Unfix going to head over to the Mei, because apparently everyone on Winstrike can play Mei.
Absolutely. They're going to change over fairly late, and that forced them to actually use that Lucio speed boost to get back in on the action. Sharek still has that Primal Rage, and Sab, remember, still has that Transcendence too. Sharek trying to make sure he can get that boot on the Trans to make sure no one on the side of Bazooka Puppiez receives that healing. As you can see, Crandrop ended up going down to Chow. That'll be a known bio grenade landing on the wall, splash damage straight on the back of the brig. I mean, she falls as well.
And it was so important there to get that knockback onto Saab, because it meant that Saab had to make a commute back to his team in order to be able to deliver that 300 HPS payload that the Transcendence allows. And when you force that commute, you can get 2, 3, 4 seconds out of the Transcendence, which lasts, I believe, 6 seconds. That's a huge amount of mitigation that you can potentially get for that fight. And then Bazooka Puppiez have invested to very little value in that case.
Oh,
not like this.
What a cheeky lad. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, he's actually going to hear. Okay, so he heard Crandrop there, tried to wall off main, and then he got it looked like he got a little bit confused. It sounded like only one person, and that it was. Big riot grenade on 3 people. That might just wear off in time. Those self-destruct in the air kills Kenzie off. Sharrett receives the nano boost. The wall for Crandrop does land him on top of it, so he's going to be able to escape alive for the time, and a Transcendence to boot as well. Overtime is now in session as Mete gets demexed also. There's no front line available anymore for Bazooka Puppiez, and now Chow just corralling the baby diva, and even a blizzard to boot for Unfixed. No one from Bazooka Puppiez is able to step off this point, and it is just clean up time for Winstrike.
Wonderful tracking there from Chow. There's the Graviton Surge. No one's going to be able to touch the point, and Bazooka Puppiez falter the second hurdle.
2-0 right now for Winstrike. This next push could decide the game. Here's Bazooka Puppiez' turn to defend. Only 1 point on the board for them, and no percentage either on second.
Indeed, this does mean that if Winstrike can claim point A, they will claim the series, as at that point they can only draw for Bazooka Puppiez, and then they'd then be able to get 1 point and lose the series 2-1. So that is the win condition here for Winstrike regarding the entire series, but of course they are competing with Samsung Morning Stars, or rather, and Giganti in this particular group, so they need to get every single map win that they can if they want to place higher in our group seedings.
Be a little bit more safe as well. It's always good to know when you get a straight clean 4-0 in the series, you're more guaranteed to end up in the playoff position. 3 seconds until they are able to walk out of spawn. Like I mentioned before, and at the start of the map, I mentioned Kenzie maybe switching over to this Mei and using it on these doors. You just run in, you can either wall off the supports, that long-range healing like we normally see in the Ana and Zen can just be completely denied, and then you can kind of dive on the tanks using the Lucio there as well. Bazooka Puppiez are on the defense, however, and they are running what should be called a kind of a classic comp now in EU Contenders with the Cranks Doomfist and Track on the Sombra.
I don't think we have a name for it, but I think Doomfist Sombra says all that you need to know, and what I really like about this comp is for double long-range support from both Cave and Saab. It means that Cranks, Crandrop, Track, and Mete can all sort of like play very aggressively so long as they're within Cave's sightline here, because he can keep delivering that huge healing payload to them. You can see that Crank's actually starting off on higher ground than most Doomfist do, can make him very vulnerable to poke early in the game, but it does also mean he can deliver more damage with his initial seismic slam, which is his main engagement tool from here.
We're doing a little bit of Sombra checking.
MC Widow.
And using that Sonic Arrow. See that orb fly just directly hit the camera in the center, and takes a small headshot there from the Zenyatta. Widow though doing a a few more orbs. Alright, okay, Saab taking out Kenzie. He was not looking at all. Unfixed Neng are going to fall as well. Quick team fight going in Bazooka Puppiez' favor.
Mete being incredibly aggressive, but as we talked about before, you can afford to do that when you have the Ana behind you, because you can just have so much healing. And it's really has been rewarded in terms of Cave's ult charge, already 89% of the way towards that nano boost. And that's going to mean that Crandop can be incredibly aggressive. If he takes a little bit more poke damage, you'll get that nano boost incredibly fast. You get that 300 HP instant heal, 50% damage reduction, and 50% extra damage. Unfixed will have to potentially try and mitigate that with some manner of stuns and knockbacks.
Oh, Crandrop and going to receive that nano boost. Or Tranks is going to receive that nano boost even. That's going to be an easy demech onto Chow. Sharrek's going to fall as well. Team fight as quick as ever. Saab is going to fall, however, to Kenzie, but the rest of Bazooka Puppiez should just be able to clean this up. Actually, I'll take that back, Harry. They haven't done just quite yet. Track and Cave are going to fall. Track had EMP as well. But Crank's just trying to solo hold this point. Aang is going to go down. However, Crank's narrowly escaping death. Is going to survive with 48 HP, and they're going to get back to point. Problem is, Winstrike got a shorter spawn time. They are going to be able to now corral themselves a little bit quicker.
We're better to choke them the choke point, Jaws. Here comes Chow, going to pressure on the point. Crank's going to be there to try and take advantage of their positioning, and there is the EMP.
Forced a meteor strike as the EMP does go off and stop Chow from using anything. Cranks went back in. He knows he had to stall the point. Received a little bit of shielding coming through, but not enough. Kenzie does end up killing him off. And now it is Winstrike on the point, using that beat as well to force Bazooka Puppiez into a situation they don't want to be. Saab is then equally as forced to use that Transcendence, but Sharek going down first. This should just be Winstrike taking the point and claiming the series as well. Kenzie's with that Graviton Surge. He's got no need to worry now with the Transcendence halting all that damage coming through.
He can potentially save his Graviton Surge for point B as well, but it does look like right now Bazooka Puppiez are trying to bring it back.
Graviton Surge onto the Bell in the middle. Main is going to go down, and Crank's actually finding another kill. That is a Primal Raging Nano. Winston with a self-destruct on the point as well. There is only 33%. They only need 8% to take the series. Sab comes back with a vengeance as well as Cranks. They managed to hold.
I don't know what happened, Jules. I literally have no idea. The nano boost onto Crandop to get him back up to full health. Excellent play from Cave. Huge value off that ultimate. And over the course of that fight, Track has managed to get his EMP back. So now Winstrike's next attack is going to be incredibly scuppered, especially if he can get main in this. Or better yet, if he cannot get main, force out the Transcendence and land a Bio Grenade from Cave.
That'll be the most perfect situation possible. The Transcendence used fairly early. Now they can use that EMP. You can see Unfixed no way near the rest of the team. He actually got punched away by Crank, so Brigitte getting very little value here. A beautiful Bio-Nade on Sharek as well. Ends his life so quickly. They are stepping on the points. They are still stepping on the point, but they still need 33%, and only 2 members on it. Doesn't result in much percentage. Cranks with another Meteor Strike secures yet another kill, and Mete receiving a Bio Grenade to heal up to full as well.
Charles still here with a lot of health, and he is going to manage to take down Cranks, farming up Mete as well. But here's the Nano Winston.
Oh dear, Kenzie's got himself another grab. He needs to be able to use it to lock down this Winston. A Primal Rage is used once more, and Sharek ends up killing off Cave. And now the healing is lacking on the side of Bazooka Puppiez. They should just be able to take the point. 8% is all that's needed. Aim with a double kill in the end, and Winstrike are going to secure the series. They do need to finish the map, however, in order to get an extra match point.
Ooh, too close to comfort for Winstrike right there. They only have a sound barrier left. The only tool that they didn't throw out of a box, the kitchen sink included, was thrown at Bazooka Puppiez. But Bazooka Puppiez haven't actually mixed up their comp like we saw from Winstrike last time. They're sticking with the Doomfist.
That's a very ambitious self-destruct there. Kenzie is going to receive that beat, and now he's just farming Cranks. He's got his eyes on the prize. He knows exactly who he wants to kill in this fight. Cranks is so low, he's not going to really be able to make a re-engage. Has to retreat. He's going to manage to get back to spawn in time, but no one was there. The Wrecking Ball tried to get out, but the slam onto the ground not quite quick enough. Winstrike end up securing the map and securing the series.
Here they do. Still one map left to play though, Jaws, and map wins to play for as well as we head over to Escort. Once again, it will be the map choice of Bazooka Puppiez, and they've got the choice of either Dorado or Route 66. And against May, I wouldn't particularly advise going to Route 66.
No, I mean, or Dorado. Dorado first.
Dorado's got a lot more high ground to play around though.
True. True. We can see a lot of Farah play as well, and it's good that we're seeing Bazooka Puppiez flex up a little bit as well. We are seeing a little bit of Doomfist from them, a bit of Farah as well also, and one thing that I wanted to see more was more Farah to try and count this 3-3, but right now, Winstrike looking pretty unbeatable with their May version of GOATs. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. We'll see if Bazooka Puppiez can claim this last map. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Winstrike versus Bazooka Puppiez. We just saw Hanamura go over to Winstrike. Fairly quick round. They only needed the additional tick, well, the initial cap on first in order to secure the series to tie it up, as Bazooka Puppiez weren't able to capture second. That does mean, though, it is Bazooka Puppiez' turn to choose the map. Dorado, Route 66.
Not only that, they sure made him sweat for it as well. In like the last 10 seconds of Hanamura, point A offense available. Finally, Winstrike managed to grind it down. What looked like two very sure fights to him very much were turned around by Bazooka Puppiez clutching it out in the last moments. And that's what we've really seen from Bazooka Puppiez over the last few seasons of Contenders as well. In moments of complete chaos, they find absolute clarity.
Yeah, it comes with the name, the Scrappy Puppies, which they were adorned in Season 1. It's going to be Dorado, their map pick, though. All right, you said you didn't really want to see Route 66, just going up and knowing that Winstrike are probably going to play the main.
Yeah, I feel like Route 66 is far more mono-vertical. That isn't really a word, but to get across what I mean, you very much try and stay on one plane of verticality most of the time, especially if you're running a 3-3. Whereas Dorado very much can exist on two planes, especially on second point, where you have the high ground above the courthouse. Very useful for a second point defense.
Well, Bazooka Puppiez, they're going to be up attacking first. Winstrike choosing something a little different. We're going to see Kenzie's Widowmaker once more. Did get taken out by Sab earlier on. A couple of swift orbs of destruction to the face was easily dispatched with. But Unfix's going to be on the Sombra. Pretty tricky to play Sombra on this map, but if you can get the hack off on someone like Crandrop, for example, who's playing the Winston, pretty much useless.
Frank's looking for some value here with the Farah. Depends where he's going to be running out of spawn. He's just going to swap over to this Genji. Doesn't want to be tussling with Kenzie on that Widowmaker. Better to have the reflect to potentially be able to dash in to dive towards him. And Track wants to go man on man. The Widowmaker is on the field from him. And in Season 1, when he used to play for that's a disband, we did see some nice performances of the Widowmaker from Track.
Track was definitely one of our standout Widowmakers, that is for sure. That's a disband, not doing not doing too well in the entire season, but Track hoping to make a mark this time around.
Dancing with Fate. Kenzie, Fate's been delivered.
You just saw. That's the thing, obviously we have this X-ray vision, right, so we can actually see where he is, but you just saw the tip of Kenzie's head and he'd already taken the shot. 90% now on the infosights, so it's going to be a large thought on the side for Bazooka Puppiez when they want to go for the attack next.
Yeah, it could even force Bazooka Puppiez to just not attack for 15 seconds while they don't want to be exposed here. Crank's trying to make the entry, but he's straight into the middle of three players. He's down to half health as well and anti-healed.
Oh, 25 HP. He might just be able to survive. Nope, Sharek's going to chase him up. Oh, I had a hope and a dream from there, and I think he did as well. Unfortunately, they were cut a little bit short, or electrified a little short. Now the Cave just moving away. And again, the emphasize, like you said, maybe Bazooka Puppiez don't actually want to attack straight away, as they are going to be revealed, their location that is. Track is going to take the kill onto Kenzie, however, so that is actually a big win for them. However, it won't take Kenzie too long to get back to the point. Obviously, Widowmaker, in her name, is a fairly long-range hero, so she should be more of an impact in a minute.
Track now has advantage in terms of infrasights. His are still up, whereas Kenzie's are down and will be down for the foreseeable future. We'll hit a headshot onto Sharek, who's now going to be the primary target.
Oh.
The Nano Boost is there.
Nano Boost. He's going to get booped upwards, so he didn't actually land the bounce damage. There we go. Actually, he did. I'll take that back. A bio grenade landing onto the Ana, but that just left him so vulnerable in the back line. That Discord, that boop does a whole lot of work, just keeping him mid-air. Track taking out Kenzie once again, 2-1 in the War of the Widows right now. And it is just Chow left on the point to stall for a little bit longer.
I'd see if Kenzie will swap off this Widowmaker, if he'll continue to try his luck. Looks like he will be staying on the Widowmaker. Winstrike, after all, do have a couple of ultimates to play with.
Okay, Track already take out Main. Looked like Main had a forward spawn there, so actually came out through the bank and said, hey, what's going on down there?
What up, guys? You still fighting?
Hey, yeah. Are you still fighting? Oh, yes, we are. Okay, cool. Unlucky.
Don't worry, I'll check later.
I'm just peeking, guys. I'm going to see who's main. Oh, no, I'm dead. Okay, unlucky. Track has emphasized now as well. Kenzie is going to be lagging a little bit behind on that one.
Look at Bazooka Puppiez' ultimate bank, though. Cranks has this ready to go with the Dragon Blade. The question is, will he be able to force out main and his Transcendence beforehand?
That was such a nice hack, but that defense matrix stopping a lot of that damage from Unfix actually going through. Cranks has that blade as well, and they're going to be able to combine it with Nano, but he does end up going down, and Sab only just finding the Nano once more. Track taking 2 kills, though. Kenzie and Aang, but Sherrick is going to be able to follow him through the air, through the rappel. Might claim the kill, but his backline is as long and as good as dead.
Indeed they are. The question is, will he be as good as dead? Yes, he will be. Meta will claim that kill, but while he was busy there, Chow, it's all about you, my son. You can chase out Cave potentially, but now you've just got a small baby diva at your mercy.
That was very cruel. Actually took away the mega health pack. Unfix hopefully getting a re-stealth there. He might have just got it, yeah. So Chow actually body blocked from there using the defense matrix 2 to make sure Unfix didn't actually get revealed, and still has the EMP also. Kart, however, is continuing to move down this path.
Chow's in a lot of trouble right here. If Track hit a headshot, it was going to lose his mech. Krandop going to be claiming some space here, up onto the high ground. He can have a nano boost should it be required, but Blade's still in the back pocket. That's not how you're going to hit the grenade, my son.
I do that all the time, man. Just the Lucio just flying through the air. You have to either hit him directly onwards or at least splash it off one of the walls. As Crank's claiming 1 kill and still yet to use that nano blade. Well, we will see Krandrop falling, however, but Winstrike very much at a disadvantage.
Here comes the nano blade straight into the back, straight onto Kenzie.
Kenzie, not what you want to be. Main's going to go down as well. Nano Blade a little bit too strong, however he does get a hack. That's exactly what Unfix wants to look for here in this engagement. With that Nano Blade wearing off eventually. They're still going to be able to hold, however the tanks are extremely low. Beautiful bio grenade lands onto the point, not after though. Sharak ends up going down to Mete.
Unfix thought he could pull a fast one on Track, but the infrasights are up, caught him in the stealth, and managed to snipe him thereafter. Cranks returns to the fray, a load of kills cleaned up there, and Bazooka Puppiez have an impressive time back moving into third, and this is why I wanted to see the move over onto Dorado, because this is where you can really flex the hero pool of both Cranks and Track, because Track's a fantastic Widow, Cranks can bring out the Genji, and both of these guys flourish when you can move between these verticalities with such ease, and force Winstrike to not be on that Mei, because Mei is very vertically limited. Sure, you can move between planes of verticality with the wall by standing on top of it, but if you use that cooldown as a movement cooldown, it's not available for isolation or defense later on.
Speaking of defense, Crank's jumping over to the Brigitte instead of the Genji. Was 55% towards his blade. Could have potentially used that in the next engagement. The issue would be there. His Sab has actually switched over to the Zenyatta instead of keeping on the Ana, so no Nano Blade would have been available.
Looks like Track's also going to be swapping up. There is the Zarya ready to give Krandop the bubble. Dive ball versus dive ball here. Winstrike and Bazooka Puppiez both rocking the Winston, but Sharak has a little bit of an advantage in terms of primal rage available. Nope, he will actually give it up to go over to the Reinhardt. They want to have that consistent shielding so that Chow can be much safer to farm here towards that Graviton.
Brandon jumps in the back line, knowing he's pretty safe as he's got Primal Rage, and the self-destruct gets thrown in as well. Doesn't quite find anybody, but isolates the supports enough for actually Main to force to use the Transcendence. There's going to be a beat in return, but Cranks is already going to bite the dust, and now the wall to seal everybody off. Kenzie is trying to find at least the freeze onto one of the tanks in the front line, but two members again trade up. So Sharak and Track going down very quickly to both Zaryas, and that is Unfix falling as well. So Winstrike still hard on the defense, but Krandrop taking the game into his own hands, taking a couple of lives for his own.
Chow's as free to farm as he would like, however Mede's in his sights right now, can't survive the onslaught of the particle laser. Look at how close Chow is to a Graviton, Jaws.
Already, he only just switched up. Chow is 5% away, and they've got a wall to work with too. They're going to be able to push forward, and Sav ending and going down here could signal the end of the fight, as Winstrike don't want to blow any more ultimates. They know how valuable they are, as the payload is so close to being delivered.
Last time we talked about weather checks on Dorado, it was about Lilbo catching some rain of justice, but I've got a fresh weather report coming up for you, Jaws. It's going to be the snowstorm. Chow ready to come in with the Graviton. You know what Kent is going to lay on top of that? It's going to be the Blizzard. Everyone's going to get the deep freeze potentially, and Bazooka Puppiez may just have to give up the next fight and then make their last fight count.
Sav has to really be hot on the trigger here. He has got Transcendence, but if that doesn't go off quickly, that freeze is going to come through pretty fast, faster than he can actually react. Track is building towards his own Graviton Surge as well, 70% available for him.
Mete can also potentially eat any part of this combo. Snowball does travel rather slowly, so potentially if Kenzie is soaked in the defense matrix, it can be eaten. The best friend of Mei could go into the void.
Oh, it's so sad when we talk about it like that, but it is a very good possibility. The rally coming out from Bazooka Puppiez as they march forward, and a Transcendence early used there by Sab. Graviton Surge goes in, but it's going to get completely eaten. That one definitely isn't, though. There's the Blizzard is going to be used more defensively this time around. A beat also to send everybody running. The wall is going to be used more defensively again to block off the self-destruct, and Winstrike is still in this fight.
Look at Krandop, though. He's got the Earth Scatter, and down go so many members of Winstrike.
3 members bite the dust. Unfix Sharak's going to fall. Krandop getting slowed up by the Mage, trying to stall onto the point for the longest possible time. Kenzie eventually going to fall, though, as the block is going to run out. Oh, Sunday.
Oh, perfect timing. See you later, Kenzie.
I never hit those.
Turned into a slush puppy.
A boot from onto Sharek as he does manage to get the bit onto Crandrop. Crandrop cranes to life in the end. Abby Chow again trying to sort out the point, and it's only Aang dancing around. Same with Unfix, but Track just claiming way too many people. Kenzie's not going to survive long either. Jumping onto the emergency wrecking ball. A couple of meters remain. Bazooka Puppies end up completing the map, but it is going to be an overtime.
Overtime indeed, Jaws. Would this be... Have Bazooka Puppies claimed a map yet in Contenders? I think they may have versus HSL. Okay. I forget. I've got week 1 amnesia. Those matches were so epic, and I just was so proud of winning that prediction war that...
It's all gone to your head, Harry.
Yes, it's all gone to my head.
Uh-oh. And your hair. It's going up and up and up.
The more predictions I get right, the taller my hair gets.
You should have done that over the entirety of the seasons, just see how high you can really get. You'd look like a mod from the late 70s. I actually don't know when mods and rockers came about. Actually,
I think that was 60s.
Was that 60s?
I'm not sure.
I was not born then. I'm allowed to forget.
Yeah, more like glam rock.
Yeah, glam rock hair. Yeah, and like leopard print on. Oh, it's like the Zaya skin, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, like leopard print trousers.
Yeah, let's get physical.
Yeah, exactly. Like neon-coloured shirts and what have you.
Speaking of neon colours, Cranks may well be showing off the blue and the yellow on the Pharah. That was a weak segue, but it will do, Jaws, it will do. I would love to see the Pharah come out right here, especially with Cave on the Mercy, because as you can see in the centre of your screen right now, that clock tower is great as vertical cover to try and move yourself around as a Pharah to give you great cover from incoming hit scan damage. It can mean that you're pretty impervious to a lot of attentions unless a D.Va really tries to commit to attacking you. And even if a D.Va does commit, if you can move around that tower, they have to commit around extra angles whereby they can't get healing and support if they do commit.
Well, Bazooka Puppies now to defend. They are going to be
okay,
defending. Chow. Yeah, it's like, nope. And he got half his health taken away as well. Tracker taking a nice little headshot is going to net himself 24%. I like seeing the Widowmakers back. It's very reminiscent of Season 2.
Well, Kenzie has some revenge to take. Track definitely won out that war earlier in the point B, and already Kenzie is claiming a life. Sab's down, that's a lot of healing gone, and Crandop knows he cannot hold this position.
Cave, though, he's on the Mercy. Remember, he's going to be pocketing Cranks more often than not, and Sab actually gets res. They might just have to stabilize. Beautiful angle from Kenzie. Doesn't quite find the head of Sab, though.
Ready for the crossing of Cave, but not quite quick enough on the draw. Crandop's going to have to move away, but over this entire time, Jaws, Bazooka Puppies have got so little time on the cart.
They do. They've just moved it underneath there, but the marketplace will be in effect. Or the marketplace session. I don't know. Mumfixed 50% on towards that blade. Kenzie on 66. They do have main with the nano boost already. Arna's getting that so quickly. Cranks, you don't want to fly too close to Kenzie though. Exactly. That'll keep happening, unfortunately, buddy. You are 20% away from a rocket barrage, however, if you do find a recontest. Cave does get the resurrection as Track is able to take out Unfixed, and Sharek falls too.
Flying too close to the French sun. Cranks doing his old Icarus roleplay. Chow actually getting taken out by a slip dart there and does 5 damage, so little mini play right there. Look at how low he is. Going to be taken up by the D.Va pellets of Mete, no doubt, but or you can just do 300 damage. No, 390 damage with a Widow headshot. I forgot the damage boost is there. You can see it in the kill feed. That is where Cave's attention currently is, because of course with Cranks dying twice, he cannot be rezzed twice. And I would have thought that Cranks would be a lot more safe there, because he did have the infrasight from Track, so he knew exactly where Kenzie would be. He could be very much more informed about the angles he was taking, but he still decided to test Kenzie. And Jaws, no one tests Kenzie.
No one tests Kenzie, man. He's got infasights up. You've got to be careful. Ooh, that nano actually used to save his life, but it's going to be turned into a nano blade straight to the back line. Sab's going to get cut up. That will be... He gave him a dirty look as Mete just used that S key to just back on out. Nice shurikens in the air from Unfix. Does take out Cranks as well.
Crandop's going to take out Kenzie in the backline, however, is going up against both of the supports, and Main's going to claim that particular life, and now Mete is just sacrificing his health.
He is indeed. Track does get resurrected, so he's going to be able to earn himself infasights, you can imagine, and a self-destruct to stall out the cart a little bit more. The nade landed onto Mete, and Aang just skirts around the cart. Easy picks up the kill with the melee, and that is going to be Winstrike claiming first. Cave
roams the brave, and he ran onto the cart. It was exactly that, but Winstrike now have momentum on their side. Chow ready to claim as much space as is required with this self-destruct. And Crandop going to take a little bit of micro missile fire, but of course Chow already has his ultimate, so that's just feeding a little bit of extra ultimate charge over to the support of Bazooka Puppiez. Sav has got that nano ready to go. I imagine the most likely target here, of course, would be Crandop, so we can engage with that 90 DPS.
Unfix is is building up to this blade incredibly quickly, already up to 72%. Track's gonna pop the infosights fairly soon, you can imagine. There's gonna be a beat enabling Unfix to dash on forward. Kenzi's gonna receive the beat too, not gonna be all too much used to him, but look how much cover it provides him. The entirety of his front line just diving on in. Easy kill onto Sab, the headshot just peeking over. However, a resurrection onto Sab as well from Cave might just turn the tides of war.
And Shark has to continuously worry about how much damage Cranks can put down onto him with that Storm Arrow. It's got such high DPS draws, especially against big meaty targets, because it can do headshot damage as well, which means you can do up to, I think, 140 damage per headshot. Is it 70 or 80 damage per shot? I don't know.
It's a lot. It kills Shark very quickly.
Yeah, that's the main point we're trying to make. It does kill Shark incredibly quickly, but once again, Bazooka Puppiez is going to have to weather the storm that is going to be coming from Unfixed Blade. For Nano Blade, to be precise, Main does have that ready to go.
All right, Kenzie takes out Trout. That's a good sign. There's the Nano Blade straight to the back line. Sab doesn't quite land the sleep dart, but he's lost him. I don't think it matters. I'm going to be honest with you, mate. Crack dropping Sab. Cranks are going to get Nano Bladed. Nice. You lost him for a second, but hey, there was a massive Winston right in your face. You might as well slash at something. He gets the resets, he gets the kills, and that is Winstrike moving on towards second. Bazooka Puppiez still have a chance, though. They got Cranks with that Dragon Strike available.
Sab trying to come in with the jukes. Unfortunately, the only juking he's going to be doing is off Ana and onto Zenyatta. Cranks ready to present the Dragon into Sharek. Knows exactly where he's going to be, through the wall.
Straight through the wall onto the payload, clearing everybody off, and Cave activating the Valkyrie as well, keeping everybody alive, or damage boosted onto the point. With Sab going down though, and Shark actually moving him and removing him from the map completely. That could be worse for wear for Bazooka Puppiez. A resurrection is available, but being off the edge of the map does mean you're irresurrectable.
Indeed it does. There is that all-important shield in the doorway, Jaws, going to prevent so much fire.
Oh, Mete and Xiao getting taken out by their own self-destructs. Kenzie trying to win out the Tracer duel. He does in the end. Track end up going down, and Karan drop ends up following. Unfix claiming the kill and claiming the point. 3 minutes now on the board for Winstrike.
I thought it was going to be the honourable one-on-one duel. Kent is not having any of that nonsense. Unfixed and aiming to the rescue. The three-man dive, and Sab just without any options. And now Unfixed is pretty free to just start farming up towards his next blade. He only needs to hit a couple of shurikens. Mede's going to try and dislodge him from the high ground. Will get the support of the Zarya shield. But Unfixed still undeterred.
Wants to build up towards Nanoblade. They got it again. Main gets that so quickly, and they have Pulse Bomb also. They could just annihilate the supports right here, right now. You can see Kenzie with the eyes in onto the Transcending Zenyatta, but it's not going to be enough. Unfix already goes in there, gets 3 kills as Cran Drop tried to get the charge kill on him. Not quite though, as Unfix does find the kill and the dash.
Charge dicing with death there was Unfixed, but unfortunately it's Crandop who managed to lose out on that draw. Kenzie does still have this pulse bomb ready to go, and of course as everyone streams out of spawn, they will be a great easy target to fix that too.
Oh, he's being so sneaky. The bio grenade onto the Lucio doesn't quite land it. Cranks end up going down though. Kenzie still holding onto that pulse bomb. He's going to throw it into the back line, but he gets completely denied. I believe that was actually eaten by the Diva, but Unfixed finding 2 quick dash resets. 1 through Sab, 1 through Crandop. And that is Mete cleaned up as well. Nice time bang for Winstrike as they lead the cart in.
What a great composition here as well from Winstrike. Bringing out Viana, bringing out the Diva, and the double dive DPS. It's so hard to really keep people just sustained against this.
Yeah, Crandrop actually got booted back there from the Transcenders. The Transcenders from Sab at the very last second getting everybody onto the point, but because the Reinhardt was booped, he received none of that healing, was instantly dispatched.
Yeah, and of course you can interfere with Transcendence and other healing measures with shields as well, because they block line of sight. And that's why I highlighted at the end of our point B fight for the attack of Winstrike, how Sharek laid down his Winston shield in the main archway, which separates point A from point B, because it meant that so little fire and healing could get through from one side to another, and those who were contesting the cart very much were out on their lonesome.
You're really, in that situation, you're really just looking to break those barriers, or obviously wait for it to time out if it's a Winston bubble, for example, but that wasn't the case. Winstrike do have an impressive time maker, 2 minutes and 41. Dorado is definitely one of those maps where it can, and more often than not, does go to OT, which is how Bazooka Puppiez ended their round. They have a minute in the time bank to work with.
If they do. Winstrike will have a little bit of extra time as well. 2 minutes and 41 seconds. That's a pretty impressive time. We're going to have about 3 times as much time as Bazooka Puppiez does. But I do like how both of these teams are flexing over to these DPS roles. I'd love to see Track once again go man-to-man with Unfixed. Widow on Widow. But for now, it doesn't look like he's going to have a little bit of a scout. The question is, will he stay on this Sombra? It's entirely possible. He's just going to go out, scout out some positions, see what Bazooka Puppiez, or rather what Winstrike are doing on the defense, then move back over to a Widow, which is already done.
Widow on Widow. Let's go. Kenzie on the defensive one. Unfixed still on that Sombra. Kenzie was losing out to start off with. It was very much Track in control. See Track now, not even holding the high ground. Did get the Venom Miner proc on the D.Va, however, so he was able to see her for a few seconds.
Seems like for now they're going to allow Bazooka Puppiez to move this cart around, and of course, when you're looking at these overtime rounds, all the distance that you can claim is important. Oh no, not like this.
That is a nice hack. SMG and a melee from Kenzie instantly cleans up Cranks. Kenji is pretty useless when he does get hacked. Kenzie using that repel to get over the wall once again and get healed up as well.
Lay down the Venom Mine in his wake, so who knows if anyone's going to be sneaking around over that side. Of course, Crank's going to be the most likely culprit there as Mete has rejoined his team on the cart, continuing to push it forward. But Chow's put his meaty body in the way.
That's a big headshot from Kenzie. He's up to 70% ult charge now as well. Actually, in fact, that's going to be a nice teammate.
5 seconds.
Small head gets just taken clean off over the
Track though.
Over the little marketplace. Track managed to find 2 kills. Unfix going down. Crandrop's going to follow though. They are still on the payload. Winstrike is still going to be able to recontest. Kenzie finds a headshot onto Cranks. Everybody's far too accurate. Kenzie now put to sleep. Far too accurate with the sleep darts as well. He's on the floor. A big fire grenade in the front line. Stops the healing coming through from Mete and a bubble separating the rest of the team. Cave getting onto the point in the last final seconds, but with Unfix jumping onto the Tracer, that is going to be Bazooka Puppiez halted at the first hurdle.
Everyone's saying every shot, my man. Main was like, okay, I've had enough. There's been enough DPS play here. This wasn't the 3-3 I signed up for. Now I'm DPSing headshot after headshot, getting rid of so many members of Bazooka Puppiez. I mean, it was all Kenzie's to clean up. The second that you start applying that pressure and you can get rid of those big chunky targets which can harass your Widowmaker, that's when your Widowmaker can really just sit up there untouched, just lay shot after shot. They're not being pressured at all, so they can very much take their time, maintain calm and composure, find that clarity to really be able to click heads in the most optimal pattern.
2 minutes and 40 seconds now stand in the way for Winstrike claiming the series. Bazooka Puppiez didn't even manage to cap first. Only 77 meters even. Wasn't even that close to the point. I mean, it's super hard to actually push around here. Again, it could literally just take 2 team fights for Winstrike to claim the 4th map in the series.
Given the win condition that Winstrike have here, I'm actually surprised that Bazooka Puppiez are rolling out with a defensive, with a DPS-oriented composition. I thought we'd see more of the aggressive tank play that we saw in earlier matchups where people just hold straight outside the spawn with a Reinhardt, forcing the attacking team to really have to plow through them and move through all of that health and healing to make sure that every meter, as we said, was bled for. But here, they're going to have to give up quite a bit of space, especially as Crandop's going to be very much wanting for healing.
And Winstrike are going on to the 3-3 of their own with the Winston as the main tank. Yeah, Cranks is going to be able to spot that out, relay that to the rest of his team. They can smell something's going on, and Cranks being on the Sombra, they're going to have to watch out for her. You can see they're trying to check for her right now. Tank's now leaving the area. Track's not going to find too many big targets here. There's going to be a lot of ult charge available for him. He's going to really have to pick off one of these supports first to open up the fight.
And picking up a body shot, but for now, Track Team's content to farm up these tanks. There's the shield to make sure that Sharek wouldn't be taken out on his inroad. Yeah,
those headshots do a lot of damage, especially when they're damage boosted, like you were mentioning before, Harry. There's now Kenzie and Winstrike. The rest of the members just charging forward. This is the problem when you run this Widowmaker. She's so immobile. As soon as you use that grapple, you're pretty much as good as dead. Speed boost coming through from Aang, cleaning up the rest of Bazooka Puppiez. They're going to have to get the point really quickly. There is only a couple of meters left. In fact, I don't think it's actually going to work. 2 meters remain. Winstrike clean the series 4-0.
That's it right there, Jaws. I would have loved to have seen that tanky composition come out to play, so you could at least make sure that when you all died without the cart having moved an inch, and that meant that you had time to come back and recontest. But because you gave up so much space trying to play the dive here, try and make sure that Track had time to get picked, Crandop couldn't really stay in there long enough. He didn't have enough healing. Cave would have to heal him, and if Cave was healing him, he'd be exposed up on the top, or he'd only be doing 50 HPS, and of course, you've only got the Harmony Orb as well. You're dealing with so many tanks, and they're brawling out against so much damage. Just isn't worth it in this case where you've got such a small margin of error.
Well, with that victory, that does lead Winstrike to a clean 4-0 in the series. We're going to jump over to the desk, and they can break down the rest of the game.